My name is Melynda. I'm from Nunavut, and I battle depression and anxiety.
What do people impacted by mental illness look like? Like all of us.
Being from Nunavut in general, you're exposed to a lot of different things, and amongst those things, you're exposed to people with mental illness, as you are in the rest of Canada, but the suicide rate in Nunavut is extremely high and is actually the highest in Canada. So when you go and meet somebody from Nunavut or from the north, chances are that they've been affected by somebody that has died by suicide, or they've had their own thoughts of suicide, or they know of somebody that has died by suicide. I know quite a few people that have died by suicide, and it has affected my life quite a bit since I was young. I just remember when I was about 14 or 15 years old thinking like it shouldn't be normal to hear that somebody has died by suicide. That shouldn't be a normal thing, but it almost was something that you expected. When somebody dies, the first thing that that I thought was, okay, did they die by suicide? So that was a really hard thing to deal with, is that it shouldn't have felt normal, but it almost did. It all started when I was really young. That's the first time that I ever really remember having thoughts of extreme sadness and exhaustion. I think I was about 10 or 11 years old. And then again, when I was 16, that was kind of the first time that I had ever had thoughts of like harming myself or thoughts of suicide and extreme sadness. And that carried on until I was about 21. And that's when I started to really understand what mental illness is, and started to understand depression and anxiety, and started to understand my own depression and anxiety, which was a really important factor, because understanding yourself and understanding your own mental illness is really important to take care of it, and to find different coping mechanisms, because there's different coping mechanisms for everyone. So it was when I was about 21 years old where I really started to kind of proactively take care of myself and my mental illness, and that made a really big difference in my road to recovery. And still I have like bad days and weeks and months, and those are just the days and weeks and months where I have to take extra care of myself and take into consideration the different coping mechanisms that I need, and understand that sometimes they might work and sometimes they might not. The high rate of suicide in Nunavut really worries me as an Indigenous person, as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, especially because the majority of people that are dying by suicide are young men between the ages of 14 and 24. And I have a son, so that really makes me worry a little bit extra, because it isn't something that I want to happen to myself or anyone else that I know or that is from Nunavut. It's a really tough thing to deal with, but it shouldn't be a normal thing. We should be able to help our Nunavummiut before they get to that point. I would like to say to my Nunavummiut that you're not alone. There are people that can help you. You have your family and your friends. And you're not alone with these thoughts.
Mental health affects us all. Join the conversation.